Hold on. Wait. Brian Norman, his team is now saying that Jaron Boots Ennis was afraid, scared, yellow belly when it comes to fighting Devin Haney. Brian Norman, that's what his team is alleging, that Jaron Boots Ennis didn't want no smoke with Devin Haney. In this video, we're going to get through it, talk about it. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Now, rather shocking news. I've been wanting to make a video about this. The time is now. After defeat, Brian Norman's dad did an interview, which in the next 1 minute, stay tuned, I will let you hear an excerpt, did an interview with Mill City Boxing, and he is alleging that Jaron Boots Ennis wanted no parts of Devin Haney. We'll get through the clip, and then I'll give you my personal opinion on these allegations. It's all about the allegations, man. So I'm going to get it cracking, get everything set up. Roll the clip.
But you gotta understand, people gonna see what they see, and it is what it is. I get it's all about what you like. Like I said, we like action. We want to produce action. We want to produce a fight. That's it.
London, thank you for the two-piece salute. I gotta put some respect on Dev's name. Steve, thank you for the two-piece. Don't ever compare your son to Boots. He's mid.
Well, last time I checked, Boots ain't never fought a fighter like Devin Haney. Last time I checked, Boots ain't never fought nobody with a record nowhere near Devin Haney. He never fought nobody nowhere near the accolades of Devin Haney. Boots, in fact, had the offer for this same fight and was afraid to take that fight. Quit talking about Boots.
Senior, your his feet look very slow. Do you feel like you need to bring in more coaches to help him develop more skills?
Nah, his feet was fine. Devin didn't leave him. Devin didn't go nowhere. Devin didn't get out the way. Devin didn't get around him. He didn't box him like beautifully and turn him. He didn't do none of that. So for the people who say they know what boxing is and say boxing can be this and boxing can be that and not running, then you got to take it. You got to take it with a grain of salt of what it is. You feel me? A boxer can turn, move, they can spin, they can slip around. He wasn't doing that. They were both right in front of each other. Last time I checked, Boots ain't never fought a fighter like Devin Haney. Last time I checked, Boots ain't never fought nobody with a record nowhere near Devin Haney. He never fought nobody nowhere near the accolades of Devin Haney. Boots, in fact, had the offer for this same fight and was afraid to take that fight. Quit talking about Boots.
Boom. Now, I'm going to give you my thoughts, and some of y'all going to like it, some of y'all won't. The usual. My thing is this. I think after a bad loss, fighters and their team need to go away. I really believe that. Like, what I mean by go away is in a big fight, you probably made a pretty penny. Assess where you went wrong. Take some time away from social media and go away, like spend time with your family, kids if you have kids, spend time with your girl, and just be away from like interviews. But what I notice in this sport of boxing is ego and pride, no pun intended, but the ego and pride gets the best of a lot of men. And a lot of men, they can't, even in defeat, they can't stay away. And I think it's a bad look because you got to think, I'm very competitive. I hate to lose. I don't like making mistakes, etc. Right? So for me, I just don't like to lose. But loss is a part of life. And at some point, you're going to take some form of an L. And if you didn't live a life worth living, in my opinion, because that means you hid from the fire. Your boy Ego, I don't hide from the smoke. I don't hide from the fire. I take risks. I take chances. I take gambles. I go against the grain. You know what I mean? So for me, losses are a dime a dozen. But then in there, in those pockets, you have peaks and valleys, but you'll also have the peak, the pinnacle, the wins. So for me, I just feel like teams, when you got that raw emotion and you do these quick interviews, it's not good because it's coming from kind of like an emotional place. You're already like melancholy because y'all got cooked by Devin Haney and in this case Brian Norman. And the second the fan was asking the question, he said, "Never mention Boots' name again. Y'all are mid at best." You see Brian Norman kind of got on the defensive. Like, what you talking about? Boots ain't fought nobody like Devin Haney. He never fought nobody with a record like Devin Haney. Devin Haney, actually, he had the opportunity to fight Devin. See, to me, I feel like that's kind of an emotional response. You notice I've been doing boxing longer than pretty much all these teams, meaning putting my face, putting my voice, putting my thoughts out for the public to judge it. And you're not going to see that from me. Like, these people, we're talking about internet people. I've been doing this long time, right? So at the end of the day, I don't really care what people are talking about. I don't know how else to explain it. Like, why would I care about some buffoons on the internet? I don't know your background. I don't know what is hidden for. Like, in terms of, if you had 10 fight predictions, you might be 0-10. I don't know your boxing knowledge, so I don't think no type of way or get angered or triggered by online comments. But some people, they do, and that's what it sounds like for Brian Norman. Soon as that Boots came up, post loss, now you're talking about Boots is ducking Devin Haney. And the reason why I think that's an emotional response, it's a bad look because you're not Turkey, you're not Riyadh season, you're not Ring. So how do you know what the parameters were for the fight happening or not happening? Devin Haney did go on record. He said he was offered before Norman, offered an opportunity to fight Boots, but Boots' team reached back and said, let's do it at a catch weight of 152, right? 152 pounds. Devin was like, I ain't even fought at 147, so no cigar. I'm not doing that, right? And then they went down the list. Boots is out. Teofimo is out. Ryan lost, so he was out. So they went down, and then they got to Brian Norman. So for real, that's all we really know. I don't even, as of me recording the video, I don't think Boots or his dad, Bozy, or anybody really even responded to what Devin said. So we don't really know, unless you guys got some secret interview, because I got my ear to the street, unless y'all got some secret interview that I'm not familiar with, which is highly doubtful because, again, I'm in tune with the streets. That's all we know about that fight. So for me, that's not enough to suggest that Boots was afraid or scared to fight Devin Haney. It really is not. Second, I'm just being real. Credit to Devin doing what he did with Brian Norman, but Brian Norman is a different fighter to Jaron Boots Ennis. And for me, if I had to take an educated guess, if Boots, back when he was making 147, not if the doctor told him he can't make 47 safely, I don't know about that. But standing on this and before, if he were to fight Devin Haney, I think that would be a very dangerous and problematic fight for Devin Haney, right? In the back half of the fight with Norman, Devin kind of coasted it, didn't all the way look fully confident, right? Better than Ramirez, but not all the way there. Not the Devin that fought Regis Prograis, put it that way. Boots, completely different. So for me, it sounds like Team Norman, you're aggy, salty, that Devin did y'all that way. So now you're trying to lump Boots in the same boat, but he's a different fighter. In fact, I'm just being real. The whole conversation about Boots fighting Norman, you know, I was like, okay, I understand the Normans, they're not going to just take what Eddie Hearn says. While a lot of people were saying that Normans, they duck Boots, blah, 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 I gave them a chance. So you can see my commentary is very consistent and is not emotionally driven. I was probably one of the only people who was like, that's not necessarily the duck that people are saying. Just because Eddie threw a number out and it's more money than he's made, you're not going to just take the deal. However, when it comes to the fight, I also told you that if they were to fight, because that's just the business side and purses, salaries and stuff like that. Outside of that, if they were to fight, I told you I would favor Jaron Ennis. And then after seeing the Devin fight, I feel even more vindicated in saying that. Jaron Ennis, I've been following his career for a while, and I think he's a problem. I think just like anybody else, he's not unbeatable, but it's going to take a special fighter that's doing certain things and has certain things to beat him. And Brian Norman, he was getting hit too much. For me, you're not going to be able to get hit like that versus Jaron Boots Ennis. And Boots is a better finisher than Devin, where people criticize Devin and like some people are saying it was boring. Eddie Hearn, Max Kellerman, all these guys are saying Devin's performance because he lacks the killer instinct. You had your man hurt, you can punctuate it with another knockdown or a stoppage, but mentality-wise, that's not what Devin and his team drew up. But Boots, we're talking about a whole different animal. So it sounds bad for the Normans to have lost to Devin and then now putting out this notion that Boots was afraid of Devin and didn't want to fight. If the man can't make the weight no more, then he can't make the weight no more. It happens. I wouldn't say that. It's not like Devin was his mandatory or anything like that. It just didn't line up, right? And sometimes that happens. Like it would be different if it was like Jamal Charlo when he was at 54 and J-Rock was his mandatory calling him out. Then it would have looked bad, right? If Devin was J-Rock and Jamal Charlo was Boots, then it would have looked bad because you guys were both concurrently at the same division. Devin never really moved up to 47 prior to Boots kind of announcing that he was moving out of the division. So they probably threw out the catch weight because they don't want to make 47 no more. No more, no less. But to try to reshape it because Devin beat Norman and make it look like Boots was afraid. Why would he be afraid of Devin? He wants to fight Virgil Ortiz. That's a more dangerous fight. At best, what is Devin going to do? Outbox Boots? You know, I'm talking about at best. I'm not saying that's my prediction. Versus Virgil Ortiz, he's durable. He's a bigger puncher. He has more fights at 54. What are we really talking about? So I thought this was kind of a bad take from the Normans. Let me know what you think. For more boxing news, subscribe. Live streaming can be tough, which is why I use StreamYard. Click the link in the description for StreamYard, which is an awesome tool that enables you to set up your stream with ease of use. Get great results with live streaming. It's what I use. Stream to social media with ease with StreamYard. Live streaming is here to stay. Engage with your audience using StreamYard. Great way to reach out to your audience and connect. So you need a tool that can do that. If you're new to YouTube and you're struggling to get views, one tool I can provide to you is TubeBuddy. I've been on YouTube over 10 years. I use TubeBuddy daily to crank out videos just like this one that you're watching. Learn how the pros do it with TubeBuddy. YouTube receives a lot of traffic, which also means a lot of creators, a lot of people putting out content. So you need to learn the ropes so you know how to separate yourself. Especially if you're new, but even if you're a pro, use TubeBuddy. The link is in the description. Get more views, more subscribers, and a higher click-through rate, so ultimately you can realize all of your online goals. Use my affiliate link in the description and grow your channel fast.